going to be getting married to Camden, whether you like it or not. So don't even bother trying to stop this.
Huh?
I'm sure I've mentioned this plenty of times to you, but it must suck to have your lovers taken away from you by me. I know that you go to bed every night crying your eyes out, and in the morning you wake up to your face being all swollen and red. But you've always been an ugly one, so having your face all swollen changes nothing. Sucks to be you.
But here's the thing, Macy. I'm not sure how many times I've told you this now, but that Camden guy has never been my boyfriend or my fiancé. And it's not like you've ever heard from him that he's been with me, and I've never even seen his face yet. So why can't you just believe me and let all of this go?
I know that you're lying, and that's why I'm not letting it go. I'm sure that it hurts right now to see that you never gave him enough loving, and that's why he went after someone way sexier like me to give him the good stuff.
Can you at least show me a picture of him so that I can see if I even recognize him at all? I'm already telling you that I have no memory of that guy. But to just make sure that I don't know him, I'd like to see who he is.
I'm not showing you his face. You think I'd send a picture of my boyfriend to his ex after he ran away from her?
But I'm saying that you have it all wrong. My fiancé does not go by the name Camden. And by the way, are you going to come and meet my fiancé when he meets mom and dad? I'm sure that if you just take a few hours to come out and see him, this whole misunderstanding could be put to rest. And in your case, you haven't even been back to mom and dad's house for over 5 years now, so it'd be nice for you to stop by and see everyone before I get married.
I don't need to come see any of you guys. It's not even like mom and dad need to see my boyfriend anyway either, because he just happens to be the man you were with before I took him, so mom and dad already know who I'll be marrying.
But I'm telling you to come home to meet my fiancé.
After I figure out what day and where the wedding of ours will be held, I'll let everyone know on my Instagram. And that means I won't be sending out any invitations because that's just too much work. So let everyone in the family know they're invited and to come to my wedding.
None of us have your Instagram, though.
Oh, please, Melina. I know that you are one of the followers hidden within my thousands of followers already.
But I don't even have an Instagram account. Are you sure that person isn't just someone with the same name and looks as me?
You can lie all you want, but not showing up to my wedding will not be allowed. I want this wedding to go perfectly for me, which means everyone I invite on Instagram has to be there. And everyone already knows who my fiancé is because they met him when he was with you before I stole him.
Can you please stop it with all that BS? None of us know who you're planning on marrying, Macy. And as far as I'm aware, he doesn't know any of us.
Now, I'll see you soon.
Macy, right now you're making it so that wedding of yours turns out as anything but perfect for yourself.
So you must be Macy's older sister, right?
What? Yeah, I am. And who are you?
I am not Camden. I am your sister's fiancé. Wait, we just filled out our marriage papers, so I'm actually her husband now.
Huh? You're her husband now?
I was looking through Macy's phone earlier today and found someone she was texting with that just went by the name Older Sis. So I copied your contact information into my phone, and that's why I'm talking with you now. And I would like to know right now why not only your friends and family haven't come, but also you and your parents.
Can you tell me what the heck is going on right now?
I think you already know. All of your friends and family ended up not showing up to my wedding, and it embarrassed me. I have already lost my parents to them cutting ties to me in the past, so now I have nobody to cheer for my marriage, and I was hoping your parents would at least show up and congratulate your sister and I. Are you all idiots or something? I guess I know one thing now, and that's that you and all your family's just a bunch of idiots besides your sister, and need to be punished for doing this to me.
Can you hold on a second? Don't tell me that today is the day of my sister's wedding.
Stop acting so naive. You guys were the ones that said you didn't ever want to come meet me face to face before I married your sister. But right now, when I was planning to meet everyone today, no one showed up. Do you really think I'm going to let you get away with telling me that you didn't know what day the wedding was taking place? Or where at?
You really need to stop for 1 second. None of us in the family ever received an invitation from Macy, and if we had, having your guys' wedding on a day like today is really, really strange.
Huh? Why would that be strange?
Because right now, we're in the middle of my wedding.
Huh?
Right now, I'm in the middle of having my wedding.
Huh? You're having your wedding today? Today?
I think you should know this before we get any further. I was the one that had my wedding date and everything figured out way before my sister did. And so everyone was already planning on coming to my wedding today.
Huh? What do you mean?
Back when I had told my sister all the details of my wedding, she acted as though she understood me. But when the time came that she started to talk about how she was going to get married, she never gave me or any of the family the details of her wedding. And to be honest, she hasn't even been around us for the past 5 years or so to talk with anyone in person about her life.
Is that so?
And there's one more thing. My sister has had this thought in her mind that you were somehow my fiancé before my sister came along and stole you from me. But no matter how many times I told her that wasn't true and gave her evidence, she denied me and continued to believe whatever story she made up.
Huh?
I literally explained to her that you and I have never known about one another ever and didn't even know each other's face. Now, I'm sorry that I had to be forward with you about what's going on, but I need to get back to my wedding here soon, and that was the only way to give you all the information quickly. In a couple of days, let's talk a bit more about what's all been going on. Goodbye now.
What the heck was that?
Hey, Melina! Why did you not end up canceling your wedding? I already told you that I stole your fiancé from you a while back, so how did you ever end up still having that wedding?
Macy, do I really have to go through all of this again with you?
I thought I made it very clear to you before that Camden is mine now, yet you still held that wedding, and on the same day as my wedding!
I'm not even sure why you had your wedding on the same day as my wedding, though. How did you have yours timed out at the exact same time as my wedding anyway?
I learned about all your wedding's times from our cousin Diana.
I see. I didn't realize that he was still talking to you. I thought he learned like the rest of us after you ran away 5 years ago that you were not that great of a person, and had been caught with my boyfriend at the time, leading to the family getting upset with you. We should have made that situation clear to him so that he'd know better than to still talk to you.
Shut the hell up! I'm getting tired of you talking about me like that. At this point, I'm not even with your ex anymore, so what's wrong with me that makes me such a bad influence?
I never said you were a bad influence, rather that Diana should just stay away from you. Anyway, to get back to the more important thing at hand, did Camden ever tell you yet that he was never my fiancé before he started going out with you?
Huh?
We were talking to one another around noon today, and that was probably around the time you were in the middle of your wedding, right? He told me that he got my contact information from your phone and copied it to his phone so that he could contact me. And when I started to question why he was talking to me, he asked me why myself and the rest of the family weren't at your wedding.
Huh?
And so from there, I explained to him that you misunderstood some things about him and I, and to have him explain to you that even he didn't know who I was before today, but...
When he came up to me a little bit ago to start talking with me, he had a very upset look on his face. So I ran from him and locked myself in one of the dressing rooms before I started to text you.
Then can you go back out to him and listen to the rest of what he has to tell you about everything? And not just listen to him, but actually try and understand that both myself and him do not know each other and were never a thing. Once you have fully understood the truth and no longer think that you were with my ex, you can come back and talk to me.
What the hell is going on here? Melina, so you really weren't ever planning on marrying Camden or even dated him?
Have you finally come around to understanding what I was telling you this whole time?
Well, yeah. I could have sworn that he was with someone just like you before he came to me, but it turns out that chick just has the same name as you.
Wait, really?
Of course, she has a different last name than you, but whenever he talked about his ex being named Melina, I just assumed he was talking about you.
So, you were that confused because you never bothered to confirm with him what Melina he was talking about?
But after talking with him about all of this, I've learned that your memory is a real problem here. I can't be the only one getting blamed for all of this, so I'd like you to take some responsibility as well.
What are you talking about, Macy?
That chick that Camden used to date and be engaged to is the same chick that you knew in high school at Philly City High.
Huh?
And even if you didn't hang out with her as much as you might have, you both had the same name, meaning that you should have at least known that there was someone like you that I could be confusing you with. The whole reason that I ended up being confused about this whole situation is because of you not remembering that there was another chick like you who had the same name and was dating Camden. I think that we all can start blaming you for your bad memory, especially when that memory of her would have come in handy this time when I was confused about you.
Macy, please.
Why am I the only one being blamed for all of this right now? That's not right at all!
Macy, I never went to Philly City High. I went to and graduated from Southern.
Huh?
I was never at Philly City High. I went to Southern High. Even if we had the same first name, what makes you think I'd know anything about her when she went to a completely different high school on the other side of the city?
Huh? You went to Southern?
You were still living at home with Mom, Dad, and I at the time, yet you don't even remember what school I went to. Maybe you're the one with the bad memory, Macy.
Hold on a minute. Southern High School? That's the school located in the center of the city that is fully based around learning art. Why would you, of all people, be able to get into a school like that that's only meant for intelligent people?
I was just able to go there, and that's why I went.
What the hell?
Anyway, you can see now that you misread the situation due to us having the same name, but now you understand and we can stop talking about it. And as for coming back home to Mom and Dad, or staying far away from us, you can do whatever you please. I have already moved out of Mom and Dad's place now after getting married and am with my husband now. So I think between us, you and I will not be seeing each other ever again. Really, I don't ever want to see you again, so let's keep it that way.
Huh? Wait a sec.
What else do you have to say?
It looks like Camden is going to try and divorce me.
What? Why?
He thinks that the only reason I ever started to date him and got married to him in the first place was because I thought he was your fiancé and wanted to make you jealous by stealing him from you. And right now, he has himself a really good company that makes lots of money, and he feels that I'm going to try and go after his money now, and that's another reason for why I've married him. How did he figure all that out so quickly?
I see. Well, those are all good reasons for him to want to divorce you. And since all that money from his company was earned before he married you, that means it will most likely stay with him and not be split in the divorce. If you guys had been able to stay married for a little bit longer, then he might have started to put that money into a shared bank account with you for you both to use. But it's only been a day or so I doubt he's done anything with his money yet that would allow you to get anything in the divorce.
For crying out loud, what should I do now?
Well, if you want some advice from me, I think we are done here, so you should go figure it all out on your own. Not very helpful advice, but that's all I've got for you. Sitting here talking to me about it won't help you any, and it's a waste of my time.
But I'm your younger sister and I'm in trouble. You should be able to do more to help me than just giving petty advice like that.
Nah. That's a pain in the butt for me, and I just don't care about what happens to you.
What?
It's times like these where you really need to stop whining about the problems you've made and become an adult and handle the situation. Also, after the last time you stole my boyfriend from me before going silent for 5 years, I've never even thought of you as family. So stop trying to get me wrapped up in your problems and go bother someone else about it. Realize that not only me, but Mom and Dad have all not forgotten about the pile of trash you are, so don't try getting their help either.
Hey, Melina, listen. I have some money that I need to pay back. Back when I had been going out with your boyfriend behind your back 5 years ago, I had spent way too much money on him to make him stay by my side and away from you. Well, anyway, ever since then, I've had to borrow money to make up for all my savings being spent, and even now, I haven't been able to pay it off, and the debt only grows larger and at a faster rate. So,
How about you do something about that debt, then? Stop trying to get me to help you with your screw-ups. Now goodbye.
Hold on a sec, Melina. Melina, please look at your phone and give me some decent advice on this.
Melina, this is Camden.
How are things with you?
There have been better days for me, but I would start off by saying that I'm sorry about what happened between you and I a few days ago. However, now, I've been able to divorce your sister, and though I'd like to give you the pleasure of knowing that, she's no longer married to me.
Is that so? Well, thank you for taking the time to update me on that whole situation.
And now, because of that, Melina, I'd really love for you to come to me and become my wife.
Huh?
I was able to learn from Macy before the divorce about where your parents and you are living. And so yesterday, I went there to have a peep at what's going on. And when I was there, I was able to see the most beautiful woman I've ever had the luck of seeing. Your creamy white skin and gorgeous blonde hair. It was love at first sight, and now my heart is all yours.
That was probably not me. That was probably my younger cousin Diana, who was over yesterday with my parents hanging out for a while.
Your younger cousin? So that beauty that I saw wasn't you yesterday?
I am already married now, and am living with my husband at a new house out of town.
Is that so? Then I'll go after your cousin now and ask for her to marry me.
Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but Diana is actually a boy, and he's only in middle school still.
Huh?
I guess you could say that from certain angles, his long hair and tall stature makes him look like a woman, but he's only 13 years old and still in school.
What?
So because of that both being very creepy of you and against the law, I think you should give up on chasing him.
What the heck? There's no way.
I had always wondered how my sister Macy managed to find someone like Camden, let alone convince him to marry her. It wasn't just baffling, it was almost absurd. Camden, on the surface, seemed like the kind of person who would never fall for Macy's usual antics, yet somehow he did. For the longest time, I thought it was one of life's mysteries, but after my last conversation with him, the pieces began to fall into place. Camden and Macy weren't as mismatched as I had once thought. In fact, they were far more alike than I could have ever imagined. Both of them were, in their own unique ways, utterly ridiculous. Their relationship was a study in chaos. They seemed to live in a perpetual state of confusion. unable to discern even the most basic truths, whether it was about who someone was or wasn't seeing, or even something as fundamental as a person's gender. They consistently found themselves lost in a fog of uncertainty. It was almost comical, really. Two people navigating life as if they were perpetually blindfolded, bumping into walls and each other. But as amusing as it might sound, the reality was far less entertaining. Camden, for all his supposed intelligence and charm, was no more grounded in reality than Macy. He presented himself as a man of mystery. Someone who had clawed his way to the top with nothing but grit and determination. His confidence was intoxicating to anyone who didn't know him well. Macy, being Macy, probably fell for it hook, line, and sinker. But, as I would later learn, Camden's confidence was as hollow as the stories he spun about his so-called success. The two of them, though different in their methods, were equally deceptive, masters of illusion in their own right. After the divorce, things took a turn for the worse, particularly for Macy. I can't say I was surprised, but it was still difficult to watch. She spiraled into behavior that was as troubling as it was predictable. Macy had become a stalker. Yes, a stalker. She began obsessively following Camden, convinced that she still had a chance of winning him back. The sheer delusion of it all was astounding, but when you dug deeper, her motivations became painfully clear. This wasn't about love or reconciliation. It wasn't even about pride or revenge. It was about money. Macy was drowning in debt. She owed so much to so many people that her financial troubles had become her entire existence. It was clear that she viewed Camden as her only way out. In her mind, he wasn't a person. He was a resource, a potential lifeline. She clung to the hope that she could convince him to take her back, not because she loved him, but because she was desperately needing his money. It was tragic, really, and perhaps a little ironic. Camden, who had always seemed so aloof and self-assured, had become the object of Macy's desperate attempts to escape her own mess. Looking back, I think this was always her plan. Even when they first got married, it was never about him as a person. Sure, at the time, I thought it was a twisted attempt to hurt me by marrying someone she knew I cared about. But now, I see it differently. Macy's actions were never about me or Camden. They were about her. They were about survival, about finding a way to maintain the lifestyle she couldn't afford. Camden was just a means to an end, a pawn in her game of financial desperation. But what truly baffled me wasn't just Macy's fixation on Camden, it was how Camden responded to it all. For someone who prided himself on his sharp mind and independence, he seemed remarkably unaware of just how far Macy had fallen, or worse, he simply didn't care. When I spoke to him that last time, his indifference was chilling. He brushed off Macy's actions as if they were nothing more than a minor inconvenience, a mosquito buzzing around his ear. His arrogance was astounding, and it made me wonder if he was even capable of recognizing the gravity of the situation. For a while, I tried to keep tabs on what was happening with both of them, but eventually, I realized it wasn't worth the emotional energy. Still, before I fully detached myself from their drama, I heard a few things that painted a bleak picture of their lives post-divorce. For Macy, the walls were closing in. The people she owed money to were done with her excuses. They started coming after her, demanding repayment. From what I gathered, she was running out of options. The reckless spending, the bad decisions, the lies, they had all caught up with her. And now, she was facing the consequences. It was only a matter of time before her house of cards came crashing down. As for Camden, his downfall was even more dramatic. I learned that he had been taken into custody by the police. At first, I was shocked, but then the details started to emerge and everything began to make sense. Camden had always portrayed himself as a self-made man, someone who had built his wealth through hard work and ingenuity. But that was all a lie. In reality, Camden didn't have a company of his own. The money he flaunted so proudly wasn't earned, it was stolen. He had been siphoning funds from his parents' company for years. using their resources to fund his lavish lifestyle. When they discovered what he was doing, he cut ties and went on the run, hoping to evade the consequences of his actions. For a while, it worked. But, as is often the case, the truth eventually caught up with him. His parents managed to track him down, and with the help of the authorities, they ensured that he would face justice. The whole situation was a mess, a tangled web of lies, deceit, and desperation. And while it was easy to point fingers and assign blame, the reality was far more complex. Both Macy and Camden were victims of their own choices, yes, but they were also products of the circumstances that shaped them. Macy, for all her flaws, was someone who had been struggling for years. She had made countless mistakes, yes, but those mistakes didn't happen in a vacuum. They were the result of years of bad habits, poor judgment, and a lack of support. While it's easy to dismiss her as selfish or manipulative, the truth is far more nuanced. Macy was someone who was trying to survive in the only way she knew how. It wasn't pretty, and it certainly wasn't right, but it was all she had. Camden, on the other hand, was someone who had been living a double life. On the surface, he seemed like the perfect catch, successful, confident, and independent. But beneath that facade was a man who was deeply flawed, someone who had built his life on lies. His downfall was inevitable, and in many ways, it was deserved. But that doesn't make it any less tragic. Their story serves as a reminder of how interconnected our choices are. Every lie, every selfish decision, every act of desperation, it all adds up. For Macy and Camden, the cost of those choices was astronomical. They lost not only their reputations and their freedom, but also their chance at a meaningful, fulfilling life. As I reflect on all of this, I can't help but feel a sense of relief that I've managed to distance myself from their drama. For too long, I allowed myself to be drawn into their chaos, to be affected by their choices. But now, I see things more clearly. Their lives are their own, and their mistakes are theirs to deal with. I can't fix them, and I can't save them. All I can do is focus on my own life and try to learn from their mistakes. Still, a part of me will always wonder what might have been. What if Macy had made different choices? What if Camden had used his intelligence and ambition for good instead of selfish gain? What if they had both been able to see through the confusion that seemed to cloud their every decision? I'll probably never get answers to those questions, and maybe that's for the best. After all, dwelling on the past won't change anything. The only thing I can do now is move forward, leaving the chaos of Macy and Camden's lives behind me for good. And with any luck, they'll eventually find a way to do the same, though I'm not holding my breath. Their story is a cautionary tale, a reminder of what can happen when greed, selfishness, and dishonesty take precedence over integrity and responsibility. It's a lesson I won't soon forget, and one I hope to carry with me as I navigate my own life. Because if there's one thing I've learned from watching Macy and Camden's downfall, it's this. The choices we make have consequences, and those consequences have a way of catching up with us, no matter how hard we try to outrun them. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.